Thanks, Greg, and welcome Ryan to the program.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
We're excited to have you. I think starting off, I'd love to, in general today, we'd love to talk about your perspectives as a Cohesity customer about how AI will and is today a priority within your organization. So let's get started. JSR has been a Cohesity customer for a few years now, and I'd love to hear how you're using Cohesity today and how we're helping you solve some of IT's biggest challenges.
Yeah, you bet. When I first joined JSR, one of the biggest things that I was concerned about and still am concerned about today was ransomware. And so I asked my team, I said, we've got to find a solution that helps protect us from ransomware. At the same time, we were also trying to make sure that we were solving for our disaster recovery and our backup and making sure that those types of environments were taken care of. And as we looked across the market, really Cohesity was the only solution that ticked off all the boxes associated with security, disaster recovery, and that ransomware protection that we needed. And so we started deploying that initially with some on-prem solutions. We've been able to extend Cohesity to some of our other subsidiary companies now, where we're using cloud solutions, and then we also have it in multiple geographies as well.
That's awesome. Maybe talk a little bit about where AI ranks as a priority within your organization, and how is leadership and your board thinking about AI in general?
Yeah, you bet. So JSR is a materials innovation company. We are a very complex company that is spread across multiple different industries, but at the foundation of what we do is, as a materials innovation company, we are creating new chemical molecules, whether those are for our photolithography, whether that's in our plastics business or in our life sciences business. We're creating all of these different new IP on behalf of our products as well as behalf of our customers. And so what we see is that AI is going to help accelerate that significantly. We also see the need for AI to help us unlock our data. And so we're really focused as we transform our business. We're really looking at how do we make sure that we unlock the data that we have within our organization to enable it to become knowledge. And as we do that, then we empower our really smart scientists that are working all over the world to be able to be even more effective. And in some cases, take research that they may not have been aware of or may not have been able to access and be able to bring that to them. And we really see that AI helps break down those silos to enable us to turn that data into knowledge.
It makes perfect sense to me, because I don't think there's a single business out there that isn't really looking to take this mountains and mountains of data and make it something that's usable. So Ryan, I think that makes perfect sense. Maybe tell me a little bit about the benefits that you hope to gain with AI within your organization.
Yeah, as I said, one of the areas that we really hope to see that acceleration is to be able to take this knowledge that may be locked into a scientist's head or on a lab notebook, or based off of experiments that they're doing, and really democratize that data and enable other scientists to be able to ask questions through AI and be able to have a natural interface with the data. And then they can understand that as they're trying to potentially create the next molecule, that they can take that research or that information that they may not have known even existed. And now all of a sudden that becomes available for them. And so as opposed to them having to try to go find the data or try to create that data themselves, now we can bring all of this together and really put it in the hands of the users and making sure that they are able to be as effective as possible. So we really see AI accelerating our business and really, if you will, in a sense, becoming a partner to help us be more successful.
I know that your organization got a chance to test Cohesity Gaia as a part of our early access program. Can you talk a little bit about how you tested the product and what some of your initial feedback is on it?
Yeah, well, so as many companies, we've been obviously researching AI and how to use AI and what could it do in different areas. And with the enterprise data being one of our biggest use cases, we were super excited when we heard about Cohesity Gaia, because Cohesity is already touching all of our enterprise data. And so that was for us, that was directly aligned with what we're trying to achieve. And so what we've been doing is as we've been doing research, we've been having some different test cases against different products that are in the market, as well as working, on some of our own development as well. And for us, what we saw is that Cohesity was already accelerating a lot of those things so that we wouldn't necessarily have to build that ourselves. And so where we've been testing that is really some of the initial use cases that we tested against other products where we would do a smaller subset of some of our enterprise data. And then we would have a set of questions to be able to see how it performed. And what we found is that Cohesity Gaia has performed as well or better than many of the models that we tested. So some of the large language models we eliminated pretty early on because they just weren't performing as we expected. And we've seen Cohesity Gaia be able to really perform that. It's really easy to get the data into Cohesity Gaia, which has been one of the big areas that we've been looking at, which is how can we get the data in and align it to the large language model. And so that's where we've been doing that, where we have kind of a defined set of test cases that we've been running against Cohesity Gaia, and we've seen some really good results.
It's great to hear that you find using it simple. I think that's one of the things we very much pride our product on. So great to hear that that's, been your experience with Cohesity Gaia. Maybe you could talk a little bit about some of the challenges that you guys face that AI might solve for you, and maybe talk a little bit about how that you can see that playing out in your organization.
You bet. One of the things we're really excited about AI and large language models is the fact that they bring translation to the table. And so for JSR, we have a number of people who are in Japan and do their work in Japanese. And we have research scientists in the US who are working in English, and we have scientists in Europe who are working in their native languages. And one of the things that we're looking forward to is the fact that now we can have users who can ask questions in their native language, and the data set that they can start to work with includes responses from all of those different languages. And so when they're interacting with the AI model, they're interacting in their normal language. They're able to ask the questions in the context that they want to be able to ask those questions. And the AI can bring all of that data to them. And we think that that's one of those areas that's really going to help us accelerate and unlock more of that knowledge that we're trying to share across the company.
That's a great answer, Ryan. Building on that, maybe talk a little bit about some of those pain point manual procedures that you guys have been dealing with that perhaps AI will be able to help you with.
Yeah, I think that some of it is just kind of, first of all, understanding the data. So one of the things we were excited about Cohesity Gaia is that the fact that it can already look and already has access to all of our data, and it can parse through that data so that we can actually interact with that data versus us having to figure out how to do that. But as we go forward in the future, some of the areas that we are really excited about, just where the technology of AI is going in general, is as we start to get more and more around images. So for us, a lot of our data that we're generating is images, and it's coming from scientific pieces of equipment, it's chromatograms, it's scanning electron microscopy, those types of things. And so as we get more and more of the AI landscape having the ability to understand and interact with data that's coming in as images, that is going to be another area that we think is going to be a huge leap forward for us. We, of course, also see that AI is going to help us throughout all of our different business areas. So, of course, we are leveraging AI more and more in security and helping us accelerate and understand what's going on in our environment. And certainly we are looking at that from a Cohesity standpoint as well as within other products, and being able to bring those together to help reduce some of that manual tasks of understanding, all right, is this a false positive or is this a real issue that we need to deal with? And as we go, we also expect that we start to see that some of those repeatable tasks really can start to be more automated faster. And that's an area that we continue to explore. I think that there's some great opportunities there to use AI to accelerate what people are doing. We don't think that it replaces jobs or anything, but we think that it becomes then something that helps people to be able to do their job more effectively and faster. So those are some of the areas we're really looking forward to leveraging AI. Beyond just enabling that knowledge sharing across the company, but really helping to accelerate what people are able to do.
Let's talk about where you could envision you using the product over time? Are there some other use cases or challenges that you could possibly see that it could help you solve that you haven't had a chance to look at yet?
Well, one of the areas that we talked with the Cohesity Gaia team was around some of the legal discovery areas. And we definitely see that that could be a great use case. And for us, we have in many cases regulated components of our companies. And with that, we have concepts that are similar to legal discovery where we need to go back and we need to be able to search that data. When we first got Cohesity, one of the things that I was really excited about was the ability that we could flag certain data to be able to be retrieved or stored for a long period of time. And for us, as we're doing some of our research on behalf of clients, we might have to save data for up to 12 years. And so this concept of being able to now have Cohesity Gaia be able to look through a larger data set and making sure that we have everything in that data set for things like for regulatory filings, that's certainly an area we see that use case is definitely a good use case for us in the future as well. So that's one of the biggest areas where we start to see that from an acceleration standpoint, and where we hope to be able to use it in the future.
I think that's a great use case for a bunch of different customers in different industries, really. And it's great to hear you're considering using that. Another follow-up question is, what recommendations would you give others as they think about implementing an AI tool? What types of different considerations would you have them think about?
I think the first thing is really starting with security. And so this is an area that we've talked with the Cohesity Gaia team quite a bit about, which is once you start to surface this enterprise data, it's really important that you understand what are the security controls that you have on that data. And this is an area that we continue to look at, which is we need to think about our source data and making sure that that is secure, it has the right permissions, and that we can propagate that through to the different tools. And because once you start asking AI questions, it doesn't necessarily know. It just says, okay, well, if Ryan has access to be able to ask that question, I'm going to bring all of this data in front of Ryan, which in many cases, I may not even know if that data existed in the past because I just wouldn't know where to search for it or how to get to it. But AI brings that to the forefront. So it's really important that you understand the data that you're going to be doing and the security associated with that data. And that's, again, where one of the biggest areas that we are excited about Cohesity Gaia is being able to take some of the security controls that already exist in Cohesity and being able to apply that to how we think of retrieving that data.
Just like you, I think everybody at Cohesity is very excited to see where the AI technology can help us take customers. So, Ryan, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been a very insightful conversation, and we really appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Thank you for the opportunity. We've really enjoyed partnering with Cohesity, and we've been really excited about this technology and going on this journey as well.